tomorrow it is the start of my self-imposed readathon. We're going to make a cup of tea and we're going to start reading Notes of a Crocodile because it's gay, and you know, I've got a choice of 5 books. I'm going to read the lesbian one first. Let's go. So I'm about 60 pages into Notes of a Crocodile, and I kind of love it. It's really weird. It kind of has that same disconnect as Grief is a Thing with Feathers, which is one of my all-time favourite books. It's also got this kind of animal that may or may not be an animal, maybe a construct of human emotion, maybe a type of person. So the crocodiles in this book, at first I thought were crocodiles, and then it becomes kind of mythical endangered beast, and then it become a type of people. I'm very confused, but I'm enjoying it. The story is focused on a young lesbian at university, and kind of how destructive she is because of how she comes to terms with her sexuality and how it kind of becomes weaponized against the people she loves, in particular the one lady she's in an amorous connection with. Wait, are the crocodiles the queers?
Doors closing.
Out of the 2 hours I'd set aside for reading this morning, I actually got 1 hour of reading done. But I've been for provisions. Now I'm going to read for a little bit more, and then I'm going to do some editing, which I'm really excited about. Where are we going this evening? What are we going to see?
Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
And how socially distant are we going to be? Very. Are we going for food?
Yes.
Look how
Doors
cute.
closing.
Get my knees in. Oh, them knees! They're so fast. They're on fire. So I was planning to get like 240 pages ready yesterday, which didn't happen. I also didn't find a single restaurant in central London that was open. But I did go see The Empire Strikes Back, and it was good, and it was the original version without the remastering, so it was quite nice to see. It's been a while since I've seen that version. So yeah, the plan today is to actually read. I don't know why I'm going so slowly. I think I'm just a bit frustrated with the characters because I can't understand the motivations, and kind of over-philosophising everything, and this is kind of veering towards a level of pretension that I don't enjoy. And to be honest, if it wasn't about the queer girl, would I still be given a single shit? Probably not. But yeah, I'm not hitting that 240 pages a day. I literally got to page 100 yesterday and gave up. So let's just try and finish the book today and see how many pages we end up with by the middle of the night. I said a fucking brainwave. Sometimes I'm reading something that like just doesn't make sense to me at all, and then I realise this is an asexual thing. Like, why are these people getting so in their heads and so metaphorical about wanting to bang someone? Like, I can't comprehend. I've got no frame of reference. It's hyperbolic. It's unbearable. Like, is this what y'all are doing all day, every day? Just like, it's not even pining, because like I live for some good pining. The yearning I can appreciate, but this, it's a melodrama. If you want to do the do, then do the do. I'm nearly finished. I'm gonna smash through it. Hello. We are doing something we don't normally do, and that is get ready with me. We don't do them because I don't understand how makeup works, and also I hate myself. So what is going on today is yet again we're going to go to the cinema because we got
those limitless cinema cards like right before lockdown started, like in March. Literally the start of March we bought them. Which has been a bit frustrating, to be honest. Because it means obviously we've not been able to use them because we've been in lockdown literally the whole time. But we're going to the cinema again. And the cinema is putting on like old films. Am I pale enough? Maybe not. So, we're going to go see, what's it called? Inception tonight. And I'm going to try and get some food, which we failed to do last night because nowhere in central London is open for food, which like baffles me. With all this help out to eat out stuff happening, so we're going to find somewhere that hopefully is actually socially distanced. Maybe get a burger or something before we go to the cinema. Today I want to attempt a bold eyeshadow look of 3 distinct colours because Jessie bought me a new top and I thought it would be cute to try and match it, but I doubt a lot. So I just finished, while we're using yellow, let's talk about a yellow book. I just finished Notes of a Crocodile. And I've not yet looked up how to say the author's name, so I'll not attempt it. And like I was saying earlier, I was having like a real problem connecting to it. Like I knew it was beautiful and I love the bits about the crocodiles, but I was really struggling to get into these characters' heads and understand their motivations. Like essentially it's a campus novel that follows a lesbian who knows she's a lesbian. Like she's already like come through that journey with herself. However, she is after this girl she knew in school who is at the same college as university as her. And like they're kind of together for 0.2 seconds and then she decides that she has to end it to save them from hurting each other, even though like they are like absolutely in love, not a problem. And like it's my least favourite trope when that happens in books. It's like I don't understand, like going like, oh, to stop myself hurting you I need to hurt you. Now it doesn't make sense, so I can't give it 5 stars because like, I realised like, oh well, this isn't a sexual thing. Like I can't actually understand this because I haven't felt these things that apparently everyone else in the world feels all the time. It's like, yeah, that's a normal human response to commitment. You can tell I got a bit frustrated with this one. However, I'm a bit torn about rating it because that is my inability to connect with a book. That's not anyone else's fault. So I don't really know, because objectively it should be 5 stars, but from my perspective I struggled. We're going to go out a bit earlier in our film so we can actually try and get food. I've got a film that's going to leave us with like a big gap between food and film, so I'm going to take The Adventures of China Iron with me, just in my bag, just so hopefully I can make a start if we end up just sat on a bench or something for like 20 minutes. But other than that, I'll update you when I actually look cute.
Your makeup looks cute.
Thank you. My plan. Scooby-Doo cakes. I'm a spooky girl.
Door
Very spooky.
closing.
Spooky. Apologies for the very wet hair, but I'm about 30 pages into Gabriela Cabezon Camara's The Adventures of China Iron, translated by Fiona Macintosh and Iona Macintyre, and I'm obsessed. Like, I'm absolutely loving it. It's beautiful. Like, I want to put a little tab under every single line, but I've really got to like control myself because there are not enough sticky tabs in the world. The prose is so lyrical. I should probably tell you what it's about. So far, we are with this young girl called China. I've seen some people say it's pronounced China. but in the book they talk about it being like China the place. So, and she was an orphan, looked after by a black family, who did not treat her very well, and she was then kind of sold off to a young South American man who got drafted into the army, and a British man also got drafted into the army wrongly, and his wife sets out to kind of get him back and takes China along for the ride, assuming that China wants her husband back as well. And it's basically two girls in a wagon on a journey with a puppy. It's kind of like this really difficult balancing act for me, who cannot stand anything that is positive or has a positive view on the Empire, because Liz, the English woman, is kind of bringing all this knowledge of science and industrial revolution into China's life, and China has only ever known farming and known the pampas where she grew up, and she is broadening China's horizons so much and teaching her so much and teaching her English and how to read and write. But it's also, you can see this kind of like white man's burden, like educate the savage, take on the savage. It's just so uncomfortable. It's a bit dicey. We've not spoken since we tried to go out last night. We did actually end up finding somewhere to eat this time. We went to Shake Shack and had a burger, and we sat right in the window and watched London go by, which was really nice actually. It's been a long time since I've been able to people watch. And then we went to see Inception because it's the 10th anniversary, and they had like a little documentary on about it beforehand, like a 10-minute documentary, which was really interesting. I'm gonna try my new roller skates outside for the first time. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to take up skating, but Jessie looks real cute when they do it, so I was like, hey, maybe I will too. So stay tuned.
Are you nervous?
Very nervous.
You'll be okay.
Gonna fall on my bum.
No. Love you. How long were you on the skates for?
About 4 hours.
Timestamp.
A minute.
You got it.
It's so painful.
So, how was your first day of skate training?
Jessie lied to me. Jessie jumped out of the way. Jessie rolled me so quickly over here that I fell on my bum.
Did you have fun?
I think in about 3 hours I think it was fun.
But right now?
I'm very frightened and I want to have a little cry.
Okay. Wait a minute. Do you smell that smelly smell that smells smelly? Because I detect lesbian undertones. Not 20 pages ago did I not say I'm getting some flirtatious hints. They are smooching, these two ladies, on their beautiful journey across a beautiful country, learning new things, seeing the world, getting a girlfriend. Awkward though, because the journey they're on is to go and rescue the husbands, so I don't know how that's going to work out. But I will keep you posted. I'm aware how crazy I look. So they've just got to like a town, like an estate, and the first thing they've done is like fanfic style, hop in a bed, go at it. Which, like, girls, I appreciate you being there for the gays. But then it carries on. We love that for them. And it gets weirder and more graphic, and like there is a bathtub scene. And I'm not going to say anything else. But my asexual little heart stopped. I am not good at handling sex in books. Like, literally as excited I was on the run-up. It's the pining. It's that pining they had for each other. And I was like, yeah, sweet. Girlfriends, let's go. Fisting in the bath? It's a bit much. Right, hello, I have now finished. Let me prop you up somewhere that is marginally less flattering than before. Towards the end, we get a little bit more about a native community and how gender and sexuality in this native community functions, and like how it just doesn't function, how it's not at all a thing. And something I picked up on, which is mentioned in the translator's note, is you are going from China's Spanish into her learning English while she's with this English woman, and so you kind of get really nice transition from like a lot of Spanish vocabulary to English vocabulary, and then when they go to join the native tribe, who also speak Spanish because of the influence of kind of like people marrying into the tribe and just external influences, but obviously there are concepts that China doesn't have yet about gender and sexuality, about how these people live their lives, about their festivals, about the gods. And so it kind of becomes less understandable to us through a choice of translation. Like, they did not translate a lot of those words because we just don't have the concepts for them like China didn't. So we're introduced to these new concepts with no linguistics, no connotations to kind of grapple with, and as a linguist it is like perfection. I really enjoyed reading this translator's note. A 5-star book. Like, considering how I was yesterday about Notes of a Crocodile, that bitch is 4 stars. These bitches are 5 stars. So I still have a couple of hours. I'm not doing much. So I'm going to jump straight into The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Agawa, translated by Stephen Snyder. I think this is the lady who wrote Memory Police. So I'm excited to get into it and have a look. It's also Jessie's day to go skating, so we'll have to do that later as well. Wow, I just absolutely smashed the first 80 pages of this. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm loving it. So yeah, it's a maths professor who has 80 minutes of memory. He was involved in a car accident in the 70s and he's never kind of progressed beyond that point. Can remember everything from his life before that. And he gets loads and loads of housekeepers and it just doesn't work out for loads of different reasons. And then our protagonist gets sent over to him and just becomes entranced by the way he sees the world and how mathematics kind of is art to him, and it's beautiful, and the way it's described is stunning because me and the narrator, we do not like maths. It took me a tutor for 2 years to scrape a B in maths at GCSE, so yes, maths, not particular strong point of mine. But even so, the way it's described is just beautiful. And also there's a developing relationship between the housekeeper's son and the professor, because she has to start taking him with her to work, and kind of seeing how gentle he is and how good of a teacher he is really, really beautiful. It's raining, so we can't go skating, which is a shame, because Jessie's getting real good at it now. I am now just going to carry on and see how far I get before I get interrupted. Hello, today's going to be a busy day. I've got like 20 pages left of The Professor and the Housekeeper, so I'm going to smash through that. I'm going to try and read all of Spring Garden, which is insane. And maybe also start Nakano Thrift Shop. Like, big goals. Big goals for a big gal.
So I really want to finish Nakano thrift shop tonight, but I'm gonna need some supplies, so we'll go to the shop. And like, just wanted to show you my outfit, which isn't something I normally do, but like, I'm feeling it, and normally I hate myself to such a degree that this is like a big event. Who is she? Who is she, big brother? Like, plus size aesthetics. I feel really fucking cute. So I'm gonna go to the shop and hopefully not get shouted at by the creepy man outside. Just back from the shop. I really need to get some videos edited. I've not put up a video in about 3 weeks and I'm getting stressed about it. Once this editing's done, I'm going to try and smash another 50 pages of the thrift shop and hopefully kind of relax a little bit. There might have to be a tea pairing involved with the bath and the book, so we shall see. Right, I've got myself in a bit of a huff. Why have I got myself in a huff? Because the footage was not uploaded to Google Drive, so I can't download it and edit my videos. I've been sat there for 2 hours. Not editing videos, and I'm in pain. But I did manage to get a little bit of like writing and editing done. But this is what happened last night. When I start doing that, I fall down a rabbit hole. So I don't want to spend all day doing that. So I've decided to go in the bath. We're having a reset. I'm going to try and read 50 pages of Nakano. The water suddenly decided to get loud. And I'm going to have some bubble bath because I'm a grown-up. So I'm going to read 50 pages of this, and then if I'm still in the bath, and I still need to be in the bath, I might do some editing on my iPad and just chill in there for a bit. But I think there will need to be a tea pairing for Nakano thrift shop, so let's go see what loose leaf we've actually got in the flat. Not a huge loose leaf variety left. Do I want Christmas tea because it always cheers me up? Piccadilly blend because it's quite nice and floral, or should I use this that I got in a witchy subscription box I get? You know what? I think I'll go with Christmas tea, even though it's the middle of the summer. I need comforting, so that's what we're gonna do. My hair is in a deeply unflattering pineapple. The bath is ready. Got some vital supplies there, and I'm ready to go. It's 10 PM and I've finally got my September TBR edited, rendered, uploaded, ready to go tomorrow, and I am shattered. But I really want to finish the thrift shop book today because I need to finish Tip in the Velvet tomorrow, because I just remember tomorrow's a bank holiday. Nice. But it needs to be done tomorrow because my September TBR is so huge. And also, like, if I don't finish it soon, I've been reading it for literally a month solid and I love it, but it needs to be over now. I'm not falling asleep until like 4 AM anyway. I'm just going to stay up as long as I can. This is a bad idea. Stay up as long as I can, easily finish thrift shop, I hope, and also kind of get to the next milestone in Tip in the Velvet. Gonna make the bed cosy, gonna make a cup of tea, and we'll reconvene. Go! I've got provisions. I'm not gonna eat all of it, but you know, it's there. I've got my book. I have got the reading music ready to go, cup of tea ready to go. And we're just going to read until we fall asleep. So, let's begin. It's midnight and we're nearly finished. I'm just going to blast through the last like 40 pages. It's fine, but it's like one of those translated books that's just very quiet and like nothing at all happened. It's literally just about a relationship. It's a long thing. It's long. But it's not long. But it's a long thing.
This sleepy girl just finished The Nakano Thrift Shop by Hiromi Kawakami, translated by Allison. Markin Powell from the original Japanese. Didn't really get the point of this one. Sometimes this happens with translated fiction where it's nice, it's very pleasant and it's soothing, but I don't really get the point. And like I'll go on the Goodreads reviews and like see what other people have said the point is, and I'll be like, ah yes, I inferred this on my own. Like I'm shattered, but like I'm not tired, but like my eyes are tired, but my brain is like so I don't know if I'll read anymore, or if I'll continue with Tipping the Velvet. But I mean, that's it. That's all the women in translation books I have on my shelf at the minute, other than Spark, which I'm saving for my September TBR, which is a little bit sad actually. I do have an anthology collection, which must have some women in translation in it, but I'm hardly going to go through and just read the women. Just like it's a man now. Yeah, I think I'm done for the night. But I will speak to you in the morning to do like a mini wrap up when I've had the time to like think about it / steal ideas from Goodreads reviews. See you in the morning. So it's the next morning and I am back in my little hidey hole nest to talk to you about some books what I read. So on Monday I started to read Notes of a Crocodile by Miaojin, translated by Bonnie Huie, and was expecting great things, and to be honest received great things, but it's not the best book I've ever read. Let's not drop it. Let's get into that a little bit more. I think I enjoyed just the absurd surrealism of the crocodile sections far more than the actual narrative that was at hand. On our more normal, our kind of human story, it hits one of the tropes I like the least, which is my issue with this book, because objectively, beautiful writing style, beautiful story, but the hook is a trope that I just can't bear, and it's this kind of, well, we're in love, but I'll only hurt you later because I'm a reprehensible villain. So I might as well break it off now and save us both the pain. And it's like, oh, this is not how you build the longing TM that the gays want. The gays want longing, not pining. Not like pining when you've done it to yourself and there's literally no reason you can't be banging. Like, I can't comprehend it. Literally, I can't think of an excuse for people to do this to each other. Also, it's one of my least favourite things when a character is like, I am a lesbian. Specifically, I am a lesbian. I only like women. And then force themselves to have sex with men constantly. But they're like, but I hate it because I'm a lesbian. It's like, then don't do it to yourself. So that took me up until Tuesday afternoon. And then I started The Adventures of China Iron by Gabriela Cabezon Camara. Obviously translated by Fiona Macintosh and Iona Macintyre. I adored this book. She is working the land and kind of not really doing much with her life. She was like sold off in a marriage very young, and her love interest was murdered by her new husband, and it's just all been a bit shit. But then the Argentinian army's like, hey, we're going to take your husband to fight. And she's like, yeah, bitch, do it. Like, please take him. But there are an English couple on the Estacia who obviously should not be drafted into the war in Argentina because they aren't Argentinian. But the husband gets taken anyway, and so the wife, Elizabeth, is like, you know what, I'm going to go get my mans. Do you want to come? Bring your dog. So these two set off in a wagon across the desert, and as they go,
Chino realises, like, she's never left the Estancia. Like, she's never seen the beauty of Argentina beyond her little part of the Pampas. And so you get this kind of first-hand, almost childlike wonder. It's so naive, even though she is, like, a married woman with 2 children. So, like, I do get a bit hesitant because it does feel a little bit like the white man's burden, because Elizabeth starts to, like, educate her, and it's through its education that she realises how little she knew before, and it kind of infantilises her a little bit, which I'm a bit like... And beyond that, I don't want to say too much more, because that's when it gets, like, quite plotty, but, like, there is some willower action, as I might have explained previously. Well, it was based on a poem, I believe, and the main character of the poem becomes a secondary character in the novel, and it's pieced together from different historical accounts and also just like a wild, beautiful invention. And it is absolutely one of my favourite books. I adored it, and I am so grateful that I read it. I picked it up. Then I started, I think this was Wednesday, I started and got 20 pages from finishing The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Agawa, translated by Stephen Snyder. I've been hearing a lot about Yoko Agawa because obviously The Memory Police has done really well recently. But, like, I'd only seen a couple of people mentioning this one, and then I saw that it was in the Vintage Japan, and I was like, you know what, I will end up buying that whole collection at some point, and it's Yoko Agawa, let's just give it a go. Following the unlikely friendship between a housekeeper and her new employer, a professor of mathematics. It's the inherent sadness of being aware of that your condition and knowing it's only going to worsen, and it lets you know straight away that this is going to be a sad story. It straight up is like, we don't have an infinite amount of time with the professor, and this is how we spent it. And it's also about intergenerational friendship, and it's just beautiful. And honestly, the way maths is described in this book is absolutely beautiful. So the next morning I finished that, and I had such an overwhelming sense of peace. Like, I was so soothed by it. Even though it's about 2 things I just hate, maths and baseball, it got me. I picked up Spring Garden by Tomoka Shibasaki, who I feel like I've read something from before, but I'm not sure what. But it was translated by Polly Barton. It's in the beautiful Pushkin Press novella series, and it's actually the last one. I've read the whole series now, which makes me feel slightly accomplished. At first I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to get from this, and looking at the Goodreads, that's like a common thread, shall we say. Turns out, most people felt it was devastatingly sad because of how lonely it made them feel. I just kind of felt quite cathartic after reading it. And that's on mental illness, love. So, like, we follow a guy who is 3 years divorced, but he doesn't linger on that. That's not really his, like, defining feature. It's just that he kind of exists in this temporary state. He is living in a building that's condemned, so it's not going to leave any mark on the city, and him and some of the other people who still live there kind of range themselves around this house, this garden over the road. It's just about transience, I think, and it was quite peaceful to read that, for me at least. I didn't feel as distraught as most people did, apparently. And I read The Nakano Thrift Shop by Hiromi Kawakami, who I have read something else by. They wrote Strange Weather in Tokyo, which I thought was creepy as hell. This follows 4 people who work in the Nakano Thrift Shop, and how their lives just kind of mingle and muddy and just kind of come together, and the relationships that do and don't and kind of never will form between them. And again, I just kind of felt a bit disconnected from that. I was kind of like, what do I gain from this? Other than, like, a very quiet slice of life story, what are the implications? And not even stealing other people's ideas on Goodreads could help me out with that. Here is the stack of books, what I read. I'm very proud of myself. And now I'm going to go and read a non-translated book and enjoy the bank holiday.
I hope you read some fantastic women in translation in August, and recommendations, please, yes, because I have now read all the women in translation on my shelf, which is shocking to me. So please hit me up. Bye.